Hello, and welcome to the Best Football Show. I am Brian Baldinger at Baldy NFL, right there, across all the platforms. Just posted close to 40 videos on X and TikTok and Instagram and YouTube, you name it, Threads. And then you can find this show, the Best Football Show, by downloading a free Odyssey app, odyssey.com. Download it, like, and then find the Best Football Show, like it, subscribe, comment, all that kind of good stuff as we try to grow this thing. I'm here literally 3 days a week, every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And if there's breaking news, big breaking news on a Monday or Friday or whatever, I'll be here. I announce national games every weekend for Compass Media Network, national radio. I do some college games. I'll be doing Texas OU in a couple of weeks down in Dallas. I'll be doing the Colts and Rams game at SoFi Stadium this weekend. I'm here on the third floor at NFL Films. I've watched all 16 games. I've seen everything that has really taken place in week 3 as we start looking ahead to week 4. And what we call Wednesday, as we get together 3 days a week, we call it Wisdom Wednesday. And all I want to do is kind of talk about some of the big picture items that jump out at me after watching 16 games, over the last 3 days. I started Sunday night. I did the Eagles game, Rams game on Sunday at Lincoln Financial Field. Came across the bridge, started breaking down games on Sunday night, watched all day Monday and all day Tuesday, and watched that Seattle-New Orleans game early this morning. I watched all 16 games. This is what I come away with on Wisdom Wednesday. We now really, we always would say that, the game is broken down into 3 parts: offense, defense, and special teams. The kicking game. Well, the kicking game is a big part of these games right now. And at the end of the year, you do not want to lose 1 or 2 games because of your kicking game. You'd love to win 1 or 2 games because of your kicking game, but you don't want to lose a game. So the kicking game right now, if you think about last week, the Rams get 2 kicks blocked in the fourth quarter. The final one returned by Jordan Davis, 61 yards for a touchdown. If they make either kick, they win the game. They're undefeated, and the Eagles aren't. The Jets, Will McDonald, jumps over the right guard of Tampa and blocks a kick and takes it back for a touchdown, give the lead to the Jets, 27-26, under 2 minutes to go. You look at the kickoff right now. They wanted the kickoff back in the game. The landing zone changed, the rules around what happens to the ball. You saw the Steelers basically lose a game 2 weeks ago with a rookie returner, Caleb Johnson, not thinking that the ball goes out of the end zone, dead ball, and it's recovered for a touchdown. They lose the game. And then, you watch the Eagles and the Rams. This guy, the kicker for the Rams, Cardi, he kicks a knuckleball off the tee from the 35-yard line. The Eagles could not field a knuckleball all day. They didn't field a knuckleball cleanly once, not one time. You know what the Eagles' starting field position that game was? The 24-yard line. You know what the Rams' starting field position was? The 38-yard line. That's 14 hidden yards on every possession. It's amazing that the Eagles won the game, but they won it because of the kicking game. And, the Rams, it was a middle block on both occasions by the Eagles. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Ojomo, they attacked the left side of the Rams offensive line, and Jalen Carter got one, and Jordan Davis got the other, and they lost. We could go on and on and on. Blocked field goals have been running rampant this year. But the kicking game is officially 1/3 of the game. And so, if I'm Danny Smith, special teams coach, in Pittsburgh, I'm making sure if I got a rookie returner back there, I got to make sure he understands this isn't college football. This isn't the NFL anymore. This is new rules. Everybody has to understand fielding the ball. You touch a ball and it goes into the end zone, it's coming out to the 20. That ball goes in the, if it bounces outside the kicking zone, that ball's at the 35. It's 15 yards of field position by not fielding it. So it is huge right now, and it's a big part of the game going forward. I see that all over the place. Every team in this league, this is Wednesday, so most teams are installing their game plan for the upcoming week, okay? So everybody gets on the practice field on Wednesday. If some teams, put the pads on and, work on the run game and 9-on-7 and they get physical and start working on their techniques. Not every team does it, and you have limited number of fully padded practices. But Wednesday is install day around this league. But every team, whether it's Thursday or Friday or Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, work on a 2-minute drill. That is, we're getting the ball with 2 minutes or so, plus minus, with a chance to go win the game. Tampa has executed 3 2-minute drills in a row to get to 3-0, including last week against the Jets, when I think they got the ball at their own 20-yard line with somewhere around 1:50 to go and kicked the game-winning field goal to win the game. You look at San Francisco last week, Mac Jones down 15-13 with under 2 minutes to go. They literally kicked the game-winning field goal with no time on the clock. It is a perfectly executed drill. Every team practices this. Every team walks through it. Every team does it in the offseason, situational football. All right, we've got X amount of time, we've got timeouts. This is what we got to do. Some teams are just bitter. You look at the Chargers last week and what they were able to do against a very good Denver defense. Go down there and execute, kick the game-winning field goal, 23-20. Perfectly executed. You look at Miami, 2 weeks in a row now. 2 weeks in a row, they've had a chance to go beat New England. They've had a chance to at least tie Buffalo last week. They're moving the ball, and, Tua throws interception last week, with a chance. Still time on the clock. They're 0-3, but if they executed a 2-minute drill the way Tampa has, maybe Miami is 2-1. They've had, obviously, the blowout loss to Indy week 1, but they've had chances to beat both the Patriots. All they needed was a touchdown to win that game. And then last week against Buffalo, they had a chance to go tie the game up or go for 2 and maybe win the game. And they weren't able to do it. So these games, not all, obviously there's some blowout games, but a lot of these games are coming down to a 2-minute drill, not just at the end of the game, but at the end of the half as well. And can you score at the end of the half with the ball in your hands? All right, it's a huge thing, especially for teams that kick off to start a game, whether they win or lose the toss. If they kick off, what they love to do is score the end of the half, the end of the second quarter, score points, go into halftime, come out, get the ball, and score again. Like that turnaround, 2 possessions in a row. If you could put points on the board, the chances of winning games when you could do that are huge. The other factor is in Wisdom Wednesday is just a takeaway game. All right, like in Dublin on Sunday, the 9:30 game that everybody has a chance to see on NFL Network. Both those teams, Pittsburgh and Minnesota, play. Pittsburgh and Minnesota tied a year ago with 33 takeaways, the most in the NFL. Last week, both those teams won. Pittsburgh and Minnesota both won. Both had 5 takeaways last week in a game. You're not losing a game when you have 5 takeaways, no matter what you do. You're not going to lose that game. It's interesting. Right now in the league, Jacksonville leads the NFL with 9 takeaways, 9, followed by Pittsburgh with 8 and Minnesota with 7. Isaiah Rodgers, the defensive player of the week for the Vikings, came from Philadelphia last year, was in Indianapolis as a rookie. He's now the starting left corner in Minnesota. He gets an interception return for a touchdown, Vikings' second touchdown of the day. He strips the ball, recovers the fumble, and takes it back for a touchdown. And then had another forced fumble that was recovered by Jonathan Allen. It's never happened before. Somebody that has taken, and that was all in the first half. He did that. So takeaways, like I'm looking at the league-wide stats. You know, it's interesting. Both Miami and the Jets are both 0-3 and are two of the three teams in the whole league that haven't taken the ball away yet. Takeaway game. This week, Indy, Tampa, and Buffalo have yet to turn the ball over. 3 games haven't turned the ball over. All 3 of those teams are 3-0. It's not a coincidence. You win the turnover battle, you win games in this league. It sounds obvious. Ball security is at an all-time premium. The Jets could have beaten Pittsburgh week 1 easily. Xavier Gipson gets a ball knocked out of his hands by Kenneth Gainwell for Pittsburgh. They recover. Aaron Rodgers, 2 plays later, has the Steelers in the end zone for a touchdown. They lose the game because of that. The turnover game is critical right now. It's more critical now than it ever has been. The final thing is we're at the end of the second Monday night game. There's 2 Monday night games this week. At the end of the second Monday night game, we're going to have at least one undefeated team. Tampa and Philly, both undefeated, play in Tampa. And one of those teams is likely going to be 4-0 at the end of September. And September is how you sort of get, at the end of September is when all these teams kind of gauge what they are, who they are, what they need to fix. September, I always say, is the new August. Everybody plays in September. Not many people play in August. And so it's a problem. But one of these teams is going to be 4-0. And both NFC teams, and will be a favorite, going forward for the postseason, for a postseason run. Both those teams have been in the postseason 4 years in a row. All right? Both teams have won a Super Bowl in the last 4 years. Brady, obviously, he got there to Tampa his first year. They've won the division every year since Brady got there. The Eagles have gone to the playoffs every year that Jalen Hurts has been the quarterback, 4 years in a row under Nick Sirianni. Under Nick Sirianni, 4 years in a row, and won a Super Bowl. So it's interesting. 2 Super Bowl winning teams, 2 teams that have owned their divisions, been to the playoffs 4 years in a row, meet in Tampa, and Tampa has had their number. They beat them, Jalen Hurts' first year with Nick Sirianni as a quarterback in the playoffs. They beat him in the regular season. They beat him last year in the exact same week 4 last year. They thumped the Eagles. And it's interesting, that game. The Eagles were dreadful in the game. And at the end, they were 2-2. 2-2. And I've talked to Todd Bowles about what he does to Philadelphia. Todd Bowles is a blitz master, pressure master. And the Eagles got thumped in that game, turned the ball over, couldn't get lined up against, Baker Mayfield and some of the sets and how they ran the ball, got caught in some man coverage problems that they had. And anyways, Tampa blew them out week 4 last year. The Eagles have a bye week last year, right after they lost to Tampa. And they completely changed the direction of the offense. And since that time, since that game, Jalen Hurts is 19-1 as a starter. 19-1, including a Super Bowl victory and a Super Bowl MVP. So we're going to see 2 guys in Baker Mayfield and Jalen Hurts. Baker is playing at a premium level. Last year, he was one of 10 quarterbacks in the history of the game, 105-year history of the game, one of 10 quarterbacks to throw for over 4,500 yards in over 40 touchdowns. It's rare company, and he's having a great start, even with the injuries to a lot of his receivers. Emeka Egbuka is picking up on him. So anyways, that's Wisdom Wednesday right now. One of those, Tampa and Philly, at least will be 4-0. There could be others. Indy, obviously, Buffalo, some other undefeated teams still have a chance to get to 4-0. But one of those teams playing in Tampa in that heat, and it's going to be, they say it could be 100 degrees down there. It's going to be a factor. It usually is in September. Anyways, that's been Wisdom Wednesday. I will be back tomorrow here on the Best Football Show, looking ahead to week 4, some of the key matchups that we're going to see, including the Monday Night Football game, which is tomorrow. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow.